On Wednesday afternoon, we saw real progress in the gun debate. The president's meeting didn't feature just emotional testimony, but rational solutions.
In Israel, you have to be 27 years old to have a gun. You're only allowed one. They tax the guns. You have to go through significant training.
When somebody shows signs of hurting themselves or someone else, you can take their gun away from them.
They won't get past point one. They go through the metal detector. Their bag go through the machine.
So it was pure civil discourse. Then came CNN's town hall, which wasn't.
Can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
Your comments this week and those of our president have been pathetically weak.
But I want to explain to you why you would not.
And I want to be allowed the opportunity, which is why I am here. Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. You can shout me down when I'm finished, but let me answer Emma's question. That's a huge... Wait a second. Wait a second.
You guys, if I can't hear her statement, I can't come up with a rebuttal.
I don't know, CNN. If booing and heckling helps create dialogue, why not hand out tomatoes, too? But you got what you wanted, a Jerry Springer spectacle that widens the divide, undoing any goodwill made earlier that day. Fact is, if you wanted more people to buy guns, that did the trick. By treating the guests like guilty parties, suddenly a law-abiding person is a killer by association. It's a pattern. The media grabs a hot issue and inflames it. Remember their police shootings narrative? The media slathered that issue with emotion and half-truths, creating a recursive rage spiral. The result, the police ended up pulling back, and crime jumped in some cities. And that somehow shocked the media. Meanwhile, witness the practical solutions coming from the White House and this House. Last week, we mentioned the Civil Tag, a database for madmen based on police, teachers, and students' testimony. If you're in that database, no guns, that's it. And clearly, some very important people heard what Tyrus said as well.
When 9/11 happened, the planes hit the towers, airports were changed forever. We got the TSA. Our children are getting hit. It's time to change the schools forever. And there is a population out there, and I checked, they didn't have the new stats out, but last year's stats was 4.3% unemployment for returning veterans in this country. That's 435,000 trained men who have eyes and ears. We need to have them at the schools. TSA needs to be at the schools. One way in, one way out.
Boy, do we need that. And we need it because we've learned of 3 failures so far. The FBI not responding to tips, the police not acting after many, many visits, officers not pursuing the madmen. No wonder Sheriff Israel deflected the wrath onto Dana Lash.
I understand you're standing up for the NRA, and I understand that's what you're supposed to do. But you just told this group of people that you are standing up for them. You're not standing up for them until you say, I want less weapons.
Amazing. But it was those errors that led to Trump's bluntness.
The teacher would have shot the hell out of him before he knew what happened.
Now, the media is going to smirk at that, but that's what you get after a paralysis of analysis. Rational solutions exist, but the media, clouded by their own bias, acts like they've never heard of them before. Instead, they poke fun of Trump's meeting notes. So in the end, compare Trump's meeting and CNN's show trial. Who emerges as the more objective name in news? Maybe CNN should have had more notes. Colonel West, you're obviously a veteran. You were a congressman in Parkland's district. You are also on the NRA board, so you are kind of like in the thick of this thing.
And I own 3 AR-15s.
Yeah, that's why I don't come by your house. What do you make of this compare? I mean, I felt that the White House meeting was cathartic, and then I got completely depressed and crushed when I watched the CNN event.
When I look at that CNN debate and I see Sheriff Israel, he's in a lot of trouble because now we have come to find out that the sheriff's deputy that was there to protect that student, understand there was one school resource officer for a school of 3,000. His whole duty is to protect those students, and he failed in his job. Now, what's the criteria to have a school resource officer in the Broward Sheriff's Office? Furthermore, I guarantee you that Sheriff Israel knew about that surveillance video last week, Wednesday. And why are we just now finding out about it?
What drives me crazy is that I think Sheriff Israel knew a lot of things at that town hall, and that's why he turned it onto Dana Lash, because there was also, I believe, that officer at the school also had been tipped off about this person before, which blows my mind. Tyrus, I swear after you made that suggestion last week that I heard that suggestion almost verbatim all over the place about after 9/11.
Please send your checks to Tyrus. No, look, that's just a common sense thing. I would have hoped there would have been more people like, yeah, you know what? But here's the thing. If you don't want solutions, you want arguments. And that's pretty much what we learned this week. The mistake, like, here's a perfect, like the gun thing. And after what we have, people are attacking NRA like it's a 9-foot monster. Yeah. It's the people of the United States and it's American citizens who are the NRA, not the people on the stage that are getting attacked that night. So you're attacking your own people. So we need to figure that out really quick, that's not the issue, yelling and screaming about guns. I am not a member of the NRA, but I will be joining, sir, ASAP, because I would like to be a part of that argument. But a motivated individual who decides he's going to kill someone or a group of people or a school or rape a woman, that motivated individual is going to accomplish a degree, however. Unmotivated individual, in this case, is the deputy who had at least 2 firearms and a shotgun in his car. None of those guns saved anybody because he was not motivated. Those guns could not float across the school and stop this person because the man who had those guns was unmotivated, lazy, and afraid. When you're a motivated human being in this country, you can do terrible things if that's your mindset. The only way we can stop that is by having teams of trained, motivated individuals to intercept you. Period. There's no other way about it.
Let me, most people don't know who Stephen Williford is. Stephen Williford was the former NRA-trained weapons instructor who returned fire against the assailant at Sutherland Springs. And he did it with an AR-15. But it's so interesting to me that you never hear that type of story. That the failure of the United States Air Force and also the federal authorities that did not supply the information of that assailant who, number one, had a disarmable discharge from the Air Force, and number two, was convicted of a domestic violence. And the person that saved that carnage was someone with an AR-15 trained through the NRA.
And that's why I feel so strongly about this civil database. But I want to ask Kat, as a libertarian, would you budge a little on gun rights?
No.
No, that's what I thought.
Not at all. And watching that town hall, I can't help but think so many people are going to make the mistake of watching that and thinking that the audience there represents America. It does not represent America. There are still very many people in America who understand the Constitution, and they understand that the Second Amendment exists not just so we can protect ourselves, but also for protection of our liberty against a tyrannical government. And you can't forget that. And you can't let the left bully you or shame you or shout out you're a murderer at Dana and make you feel bad, and let us give that up because it's too important to give that up.
All right. Last word, Bree. What are your thoughts?
So my boss actually interviewed Dana about her experience, and she said that it was set up kind of like a WWE SmackDown. She had to walk in between. This is her account of what happened. So they had kind of like theme music for each of the panelists that were coming out, and they had to walk out like between the audience and sit out on stage, and it was like this whole thing. And you could read her full remarks over at thefederalist.com and listen to, what she had to say about that. But just the way that they set it up, it was very apparent that CNN was not about real solutions, as Tyra said. It was about creating this big, smackdown on TV for ratings.
Yeah, it was the least attractive thing besides a mob is instigating a mob when it's because it's so easy to do. And it was like the CNN, it cemented a divide that meant it to be defrosted. And I saw the defrost happening at that Trump event, and then I saw it being cemented again. And I believe people are inherently good until they're in a mob, and then when that mob gets going, anything can happen, and that's what scares me. We got to move on, but all right. Producer goes, please move on.